Hey guys, what's up? What is up? Kuya Jason with Our Life in the Philippines. So, guys, I guess I want to start by saying please subscribe, please like. Um, I am a veteran from the US and I retired in the Philippines 3 years ago, and we built our dream house. I like to refer it to as our Filipino mansion. It is a gorgeous day out here. It is about 86 degrees. Got a nice little wind. We live up on top of a hill, so we usually get a little bit of breeze. All right, so what's going on today? So when you build a house in the Philippines, they'll quote you a price by square meter, and then they'll say, do you want basic finish, like an intermediate finish, or do you want like the premium finish? And those prices range between 20,000 pesos per square meter up to 45 to 50,000 pesos per square meter. So on our house, I kind of went with like the middle. So what that means is you do get a lot of fancy things like these railings. You got railings all around the porch. Also got the security bars. You got some trim. A little bit of fancy details, but nothing is like super high end. And some things are actually going to be unfinished. An example is our outdoor kitchen, which is actually where I'm going to be working today. So in this outdoor kitchen area, this is all concrete, and then they put tile for the finish. When this was done, these doors weren't actually on here. Let me show you here. It was just an open space that wasn't finished. I just want to say I am a retired mechanic from the Navy. I am in no means a professional carpenter like my brother. He's very good at carpentry, but he's in the US. I'm here. So with that said, these projects I'm going to be doing in the next few months, I'm not a professional, so don't judge me too harshly, but I do have a lot of skills. And with these skills, I will hunt you down. Taken, Liam Neeson. I love him. Yeah, so I got a lot of skills from the Navy because they do teach you a lot of different things. All right, so without further ado, let's get into this. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be doing trim. If you look here, there's no trim, and it really becomes noticeable like here. That is really thick tile. So that's not finished. That's not finished. None of that is finished. So I went to City Hardware. You see, and then it kind of starts chipping away without that protection on the corners. So I really want to preserve this. So I went to City Hardware and I bought this molding. This is aluminum molding. Normally, from my understanding, normally when you would do tiling, you would actually put the molding in the tile as you're laying the tile. Since the tile's already done, this is called, what's that called? Retro molding, because it's already, I'm putting it on after. So you have to get a specific molding for this. So this is basically just like an L-shaped aluminum. So step one, clean the area. You want a nice clean workspace. Move the car. Got everything out of the way, so I got lots of room. Clean the work area. Step two, get your tools prepared. You don't want a bunch of stuff that you're not going to use. So these are the tools that I'm planning on using. I've never done this before, so I'm just kind of guessing. I've never done woodwork either, but I made these tables. Got my nice little work table here. All right, so let's go ahead and get this area all cleaned, and then we'll get the molding out, and we'll start doing some measurements, and we'll start cutting. And my plan is to use this easy nail, which it's like a liquid nail. And we'll put a little bit of this, spread it out with a putty knife so it's not too thick, and see if we can't get this glued. We're gonna do this whole outdoor sink. So, all right, stay tuned. All right, guys, I went ahead and got my first strip ready. So I just wanted to say, one of the reasons why I'm doing these videos is just to show you that anybody, you know, if you got just a little bit of skill and you got the motivation, you can do a lot of the work yourself if you're living in the Philippines and you're a homeowner. So don't be afraid to get out there and do it. The only way you're gonna learn is if you try. All right, so you guys get out there, give it a shot. Shout out to my buddy Dave. Got a buddy Dave building a house not too far from me. And he's been doing some things himself. So when I took the first protective layer off, this is the angle aluminum here. Took the first layer off, then there was a second layer, and then I was like, oh shit, what's this? It says master. And then I was like, protective film. And then it does say remove somewhere. Oh, remove. So I noticed, oh, okay. So that actually comes off. So maybe I should actually leave that on while I do the markings. Yeah, let's leave that on while we do the markings so that I'm not getting any marker on the aluminum. So that's a good idea. Let that be a tip. Leave that protective film on there so you can do the markings. All right, let's get into it. All right, so the first thing I need to figure out, this molding, this specific molding, has two different sizes. One's a smaller, so one's like 1 inch and one's like 1/2 inch. So I need to figure out how I actually want this laid, because I want it all to match in the end. So once I get this piece on, I'm gonna want the rest of it. So I think I'll probably put the smaller edge inward. What do you guys think? Put the smaller edge inward. Let me go ahead and get that cut, because it doesn't matter as long as I got the right length. Let me get that cut and we'll see what it looks like. It is absolutely a scorcher today. This freaking sun came out. It was shady earlier. Had my table over there. It was just too hot out in that sun, so I had to move everything. I'm gonna be doing the cuts. I did mark it here. I marked it with pencil. It actually went on that protective film really nice. Gonna be using my Inco hacksaw. I did buy a new blade because I want a very clean cut. So if this is a brand new blade, let's get that cut. All right, so I got my thing lined up here. Got my new hacksaw blade. Let's go ahead and do the first cut. Would have to be I'll tell you, that is not cutting very well. I did buy a coping saw. It's got a lot smaller teeth. Let's see if that does. Guys, let me tell you something. Don't be afraid to admit defeat. You need the proper tools to do the proper job. To do it right the first time, takes the right tools. So here I am at City Hardware, getting some tin snips. And so that there's 3 different ones. You got the cutting left, cutting right, and cutting straight. I was gonna just get this, but Lotus, it says 50% off. So I'm gonna go ahead and I got that left and then the right and the left. I took the last one, and then I'll get that straight cut. Anytime I come to city, I always gotta get my wife a little surprise. So I got her some nice flower pots, 2 different sizes. And I've been wanting to get this for the vacuum. Hopefully it'll fit. All right, guys, I'll see you back at the ranch, back at the mansion. All right, guys, so I just got back from City Hardware. Like I said, it pays to have the right tools for the right job. So I got the 3. Check those out, look down there. So I got those 3 different ones. And also, I found that easy nail in a small tube, which just makes it a lot easier to work with instead of using the gun. So what I did here, so what you do is you set that there, so I'll glue that in place. And then with those cutters, I'm able to cut very easily. So that will go like that. And then I mark there. So let's go ahead and cut that one. Line that up. Cut that. And then I need this one. So we're just gonna cut right along there. And then I need to cut that piece here. So much easier than trying to use a saw. So that'll go there, and then that'll slide in right there. And then this one, go right there. Like that, like a little puzzle. And then we'll get that glued into place. All right, guys, stay tuned for more. I'm gonna get this put together, and then I'll show you the finished project. All right, guys, stay tuned. All right, guys, let me show you where I'm at right now. And I just want to say a couple things. 1, I'm no expert. And 2, you're probably no expert. Don't be afraid to try. If you try, you're gonna make mistakes. That's okay. That's how people learn. You learn from your mistakes. If you don't try, you're never gonna learn. So I did make some mistakes, but I learned and I fixed it. So in this corner, I had it squared off and it was ugly as hell. And my wife came out and she said, that's ugly. So I cut a new piece. I cut the angle. I haven't cleaned it yet, so it's got some glue on it. So yeah, that's that. That's what it looks like so far. I still need to clean it. I need to get maybe like a wire brush to clean that glue off of there. One thing I do have to say, this stuff here, this easy nail, it dries way too fast. Like, seriously, too fast. If you're doing a long rail like this, by the time you're like halfway done, it's already starting to dry. So I ended up just putting it on with my finger as fast as I could, and then it's drying and I hurried up and slapped it on. So that's why there's so much mess here that I need to clean up. And it's because it dries so fast and I had it all over my hands, and I'm trying to put this thing on there while it's still partially wet. But let's take a look here. Beautiful. All right, I got 2 more pieces to get cut and get done. Like I said, you're gonna make mistakes. And I'm not afraid to tell you that I made mistakes. I cut this piece wrong. This was actually, I cut this to go here. And you can see, way too short. What the hell? So what I'm saying is, the reason I'm making these videos is to show you that anybody, even somebody like me with no experience, absolutely zero experience doing this, can do it. You just gotta try. You gotta learn. Learn from your mistakes. All right, guys, let's finish up and then I'll show you what it looks like. Stay tuned. All right, guys, I apologize. I really wanted to have this all cleaned up and polished all the aluminum and had it really looking nice, but it's getting dark. The mosquitoes are coming out, so I need to wrap this up. Ugh, got mosquitoes on me. So this is the final. What do you think? Came out pretty nice, I think. I did all the corners on the angles. See? So, man, the mosquitoes are really bad right now. Also, I wanted to mention, you do want to have a file. Have a file so you can grind all the edges so you have no sharp, anything sharp. It's all nice and smooth. All the corners are smooth. And then you can always go over again, but I got them all nice and smooth so you don't get anything caught, cut yourself. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget, if you don't try, you don't fail. If you don't fail, you're not gonna learn. So don't be afraid to try to do these things yourself. I'm definitely not. So, all right, guys, like, subscribe, share if you want. So until next time, peace.